Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Kaylin's English podcast. This podcast is designed for English learners. I'm here to help you practice your listening skills. I'm Kaylin, a professional English teacher on italki. How have you been? I have been busy, but good. For today's topic, we are going to talk about my trip. I have been in the United States for about 3 weeks. I will be soon returning to the United Kingdom. So, this is a great time to recall the trip that I have had thus far. My first few days in the U.S. were spent in Ohio. When my husband arrived there, it was nighttime, and one of our great friends picked us up at the airport. She swung by a Wendy's drive-thru for a late dinner for us. I got spicy chicken nuggets, and my husband got a cheeseburger. Then we went to his parents' house and said thanks and see you later to our friends. We ate our food, then practically went straight to bed. It had been a long day, and for us, it felt much later than it actually was because of the time difference. There is a 5-hour time difference between Ohio and England. The next day, we spent time with most of my immediate family, and for lunch, we went to one of our favorite Mexican restaurants in the area. The food was delicious. I appreciate that the restaurant has not really changed since the last time we were home, about 2 years ago. After spending time with my family, we picked up my husband's golden retriever from the dog sitter's house. His dog's name is Rose, and she is 10 years old. She was extremely excited to see us that she said hi to us, then went straight to the door expecting to leave. After talking to the dog sitters, we loaded Rose into the car, then drove home. My husband took her out to play a bit before our dinner plans began. We had our friend who picked us up from the airport and her husband over for dinner. We ordered food in from a local restaurant. I had a big bowl of macaroni and cheese with pieces of bacon and green onions on top. It was delicious. We had a good evening with our friends. We sat inside a screened-in porch with a gas heater on, as it was cold outside, and had a nice catch-up. After our friends left, my husband and I had a quiet night in with Rose, watching familiar TV shows that we normally wouldn't watch, as they are not shown on British television or on Netflix. That entire evening and night, Rose stuck to my husband like glue. She surely missed him. The next day, my husband did Rose's normal morning routine, then began to do some of his work. Rose followed him to where he was working and fell asleep. He was video conferencing with coworkers and students while Rose snored away. I left to spend a bit of time with my family for lunch. One of my brothers ordered pizza for us, and we hung out at my sister's house. It was nice catching up with my sister and my brother. That evening, my husband and I decided to stay in alone with Rose. When I returned from my sister's house, we online ordered food from a place known for chicken wings. Then we went to a jewelry shop to get my rings inspected and cleaned. And I also needed a new earring back, as I lost one of mine during the lockdown. Afterwards, we went to some stores to have a look around. We went to a place called World Market and bought 2 beverages for our evening in. Then we went to the sporting goods store as we had a bit of time before we needed to pick up dinner. We had 4 varieties of chicken wings and a salad. Everything was tasty. It was fantastic having a quiet night in to ourselves, as we were jet-lagged and had been rushing around a bit too much lately. That night we both actually got a decent night's sleep. The next day we went to see some of my husband's family at his aunt's house. It was nice to see the family again. We stayed for a couple of hours until we needed to leave to get ready for dinner. That evening, we made plans to take my husband's 90-year-old grandfather to a nice restaurant. We went to a high-end restaurant in Cleveland that is known for steaks and sushi. What makes it really unique is that it is inside a historical bank building. It has marble everywhere and is really large inside. It is one of the prettiest restaurants that I've ever been to. And it is beneficial that the food is really good as well. We had a great evening together. We ate sushi, steaks, asparagus, and potatoes. I had a glass of wine, and my husband and his grandpa each had a cocktail. It was a lovely evening overall. The next day, we had to return Rose to the dog sitter. Then my husband's grandfather picked us up for lunch. We went to a local hamburger restaurant that we both love. We had Reuben's. After lunch, he dropped us off at the airport. We flew to Georgia where my husband's parents were awaiting our arrival. We are currently on an island in Georgia. We got married on this island nearly 9 years ago. Our first day on the island, we rented bicycles for the length of our stay. We rode them to lunch at a chicken restaurant. I had deep-fried catfish with hot sauce. Then we rode our bikes around the community. That evening, we made a nice dinner with tuna steaks. Almost every day since we have arrived, we have cycled and eaten some delicious meals. This month is my husband's birthday, so the day before his birthday we went exploring of a nearby city. We explored some shops and had a cup of iced coffee. Then had a lovely lunch at a great restaurant. After, we went to an arcade and played pinball, Tomb Raider, Mario, Donkey Kong, a couple of racing games, and various other arcade games for about an hour. It was so much fun. Afterwards, we went to some more shops to explore some more. Then we went to a Korean restaurant to have hot pot. It was a small but nice restaurant. We returned to the island afterwards and enjoyed the evening. It was a great way to celebrate, and we got to experience a city that we have never really been to before. This podcast is nearly over. Before ending, I will list some words and phrases from this episode. Recall, swung by, drive through, jet lagged, spicy, practically, immediate family, golden retriever, dog sitter, catching up, beverages, rushing around, cocktail, community, cycled, and birthday. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like more content, then please subscribe to this podcast. You can also support me on Patreon. Find me by typing in Kaylin Teacher. On Patreon, you can gain early access to the podcast and transcriptions. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Kaylin_teacher. Thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great day. Until next time, bye!